I can still kind of remember being in the emergency room and them asking me some questions, and like, I know the answer, but I just can't get it out.
Amer had his first seizure in school. I was at work and, I was in a meeting and the phone rang and it was my wife and I ignored it, and then, it happened a couple more times, and finally my assistant came in and said, Amer's had a seizure, you need to focus. And a year later he had another one. And so these are grand mal seizures. These are what, people generally think of where you fall down and you convulse. And so that second seizure a year later began the diagnosis.
I want to say we switched through 5 drugs at least, including the 2 I'm on right now. It affected my grades a lot in school and just some of the stuff I just couldn't process. Whereas I used to get A's, now in a class I'd get a B.
So we've been through a lot of different medications, and while they did stop the big grand mal seizures, Amer has these other seizures called absence seizures, where he just sort of spaces out for a couple seconds. If we're running together, we'll be having a conversation and all of a sudden he'll stop talking, he'll drop back a couple of steps, and then a few seconds later he'll come to and be like, was that one? And he'd be like, yep. And then he'll catch up and he'll be fine. But you obviously can't drive, can't ride a bike. There's things you can't do even with those absence seizures.
And some of those were things that I really loved doing. I used to be one of the best runners out of all my friends. I was on varsity as a freshman. I was consistently at least top 12 on my team, and now most of them are faster than me. And I just am not able to compete in the same way I used to be. And even just competing against myself, I've noticed that I'm a lot slower than I was even as a freshman.
Rather than wallow in self-pity, it was started to change our attitudes towards what can we do to maybe turn this around. And so talking with Amer, he started to think about what he loves to do, and we've done charity races, we volunteered at charity races, and so the idea was let's have our own.
And so we picked this course because I run in Mendon Ponds all the time, and because of the hills, it kind of emulates epilepsy with all the ups and downs. And then we started to really work with EPI.
At the end of the day, there are people that are far worse off than we are, and EPI is an organization that we have some history with. They do great work, they're very responsible stewards of their assets. We've toured their camp, and to be able to raise funds to improve their lives and to help these kids who maybe don't feel as normal, to be able to go to camp where they do feel normal for a week or so has really been gratifying.
That's what the race is aiming to do, is help other people realize that they don't have to deal with it all on their own. For me, seeing somebody who's way older than me and they also have epilepsy, say, well, okay, they're in a great place right now. I could be in the same situation. Sometimes it takes a few months, and sometimes it takes a few years. But really just trying to focus on the things you still can do and do what you enjoy, and it's gonna get better.